Hello and welcome to Mastering Microsoft Excel video series. This is video number 26. In this video, we are going to understand the use of table formats. Now, what is table format? What are the advantages I enjoy when I convert my raw data into a table format? Without much ado, let's get into the Excel screen and let's start exploring the benefit of this particular tool. This is the one we're going to use. Let's go to the first sheet. I have a data, very simple table, product and the production cost of it. So this is a normal data. So first, let me give you the context why format as table feature is very important and when it comes to a dynamic data. So let's say this is my table. If I'm going to calculate a total production cost, my formula would be equal to sum and select these three values and close it. Hit the enter, which is pretty straightforward. Now, when I add the fourth product, the question is, will this sum formula will include that fourth product production cost? So let's go ahead and see it, whether the Excel considers that when I go ahead and make that entry. So it doesn't consider it. I also got a green indication there is an issue. So you could see that it did not pick it up. Now remember, some of the persons, when I questioned this, how will you handle this particular situation? During my training sessions, the very immediate response sometimes I get from certain people is, why don't you select the entire column itself when you write the formula like this? So you don't have to worry even if you add data in later stages. Let me tell you, this is not the best practice of formula writing because your Excel has around 1 million rows. So that means this formula is going to take 1 million cells into the calculations to give you the total. So you can think about the workload you're giving to the Excel, which is not advisable at all. The second problem which you will encounter, that your file size might increase and your file will become very slow. And that's the reason when you open certain Excel files, it doesn't open quickly. You can see it takes time by saying you calculating 10%, 20%, 30%, and then it opens up. So because of these issues, we have a better solution for this problem. So whenever you know that your data is going to be dynamic, people will keep adding the data. In terms of adding row or column, still your formula should work without any glitches. Then convert that input data into a table data. So let me tell you what I'm talking about here. So this is a raw data. So I'm going to be inside that data anywhere. Go to the Home tab. Under the Styles group, here is the tool we are talking about, which is Format as Table. So let's go ahead and pick up any style which we like it. The first question it's going to ask you is, have I selected the data properly? It seems everything going fine. And it's asking whether your table has header. Yes, of course, I do have header. I'm going to click OK. Now this is converted into a table, and you can see I got an extra tab on the top right corner, the last tab with the name Table Design. When I click outside my table, I don't see the Table Design tab. When I click inside the table, I access my Table Design tab. So when I go to the Table Design tab, you can see Excel is giving a name for that table. So this location has been converted from a raw data into a table, and Excel has given a name for the table. This name you can change as per your requirement. Let's say I'm going to give it a name, India pricing. So now this table has got a name. So what's the need for giving a name for the table? Let's understand that very shortly. So before I go ahead and perform that, let me show you the formula which we did last time. So now if I write the formula, usually when I write a formula, I physically go to the location where my data is and I select the column which is involved in my formula. All these happens manually, but once you converted your raw data into a table, there is no need to manually go and select that data for your formula. You can call those columns easily through the tables. Now, what's the name of the table I gave? It was given as India pricing. When I type INDI, you can see the table name is already reflecting at the bottom. So I'm just going to double click. Now I am inside the table. You can see that it has automatically picked up the entire table. Now Uh, do I want to take the entire table for this sum operation? The answer is no. In this India pricing table, I want to take only the production cost column. To access the columns of the table, I start with square bracket, open square bracket. The moment I put that, it shows me all the components of the table. So the one I want to access is the production cost column. I can see it here. Simply double click and then close the square bracket, close the normal bracket, which is for your formula, and that's it. Now remember that this table can be in any sheet, still the operation would be the same. So you do not need to go to the sheet which has your data. You don't have to go and select the column. You can access it with this kind of approach. When I hit enter, I got the answer. Now we took this pain to test whether it will take when I add the fourth product. Let me go and check it. So I'm adding the fourth product. All right, then I'm going to put 100. You can see that it automatically updated from 357 to 457. And the other advantage what I get in the table, if table is not there, my formula would be reflecting something like this, which is B2 to B5 or B6, so whatever it is. Now it would look something like this. Now, honestly speaking, until I go to the data, I would never know B column is containing what information, which column of my data set I'm taking it for calculation. But whereas when you see the formula written based on the table format clearly shows the column which you have involved in your calculation. So even if I hand over this data sheet to someone else, it's very easy for the end user to interpret, okay, this is the column, he's adding it up, production cost is the column, he's adding it up. The only thing I have to take care is just naming the table in a sensible way that the person can understand which data set you're managing it. While you're naming the table, just take care of two things. First, it should start with an alphabet. Two, if your table name is going to be more than one word, please use underscore to separate them. You're not allowed to have any special characters. All right. Now, first advantage what we have seen is you don't have to physically go and select the columns for your formula. You can access it, table name, square bracket, the column names. The second advantage, even if you add extra data, the formula automatically considers it. Now, the third advantage, which I'm going to show you, is quite interesting. If you are a dashboard creating person, watch this. If you have created a chart for this 4 products, all right, so you got the chart right now. When you add the 5th product, the chart will also start showing you that automatically. So your chart is also becoming dynamic. Now, last but not least, I'm going to show you one more. Suppose, let's say if you guys are going to use data validation, creating a drop down to select the product. So I'm going to select this cell where I want to create the data validation. So data validation list, and it's asking the source. I'm going to select from the A till the E. So when I click OK, the drop down is created. When a drop down takes the source from a table formatted data, watch out. If I add the next product, my drop down automatically includes that in the list. So my friend, one advantage, no more physical selection of the columns for the formula. Second advantage, the formula automatically takes the extra data added in the data set. The third advantage, if I'm using a chart, automatically the chart takes the new data point, automatically it get plotted. And if I'm a data validation user creating a drop downs, my only challenge is if any new items is included, will it impact? Absolutely yes, provided if the data validation source is taken from the table formatted data. All right, so let's take this further and let me show you what else we can do. So now watch closely that this table, we have named it as India pricing. So let's go to the sheet 2, and this table I'm going to name it as US pricing. Other advantage of the table, which is something is quite amazing, within the table itself. Now, everything we discussed is outside the table. Now, within the table itself, what's the other advantage you get? For example, if I'm calculating market price, when I hit enter, it's already become the part of the table. We saw that it happens for the row. Now we are seeing it happens for the column. Now I am going to calculate multiplied with 127%. So 27% hike, I'm keeping it on the production cost and then I'm selling it on the market. So watch this. When I selected this cell, it did not pick up like B2. It picked up the entire column itself. Why it is behaving? It's a quite normal behavior when you converted your raw data into a table. So there's nothing to panic, but you're going to enjoy a benefit right now. When I hit enter, if it's a normal formula, the formula will appear only in the C2. Rest of the cells I have to double click or drag or copy paste. But here, when it's a table, it automatically populates it. And you can also observe the chart is also taking it. Everything is going as per the plan. So let's go ahead and do this even here. I'm going to say market price equal to, for US, it's going to be 145%. And there is my market price. Now, so I have two tables in my file. One table is named as India pricing. One table is named as US pricing. I go to the sheet 3. I want to do something over here. So if the product origin is US, then it should take the price of this product from US pricing. Else it has to take it from India pricing. So watch how the table is going to make my life easier when I have to do a little bit complicated formulas. So watch the formula which I'm writing. If this is equal to US, then you do the VLOOKUP of this value in which table? In US pricing table, and get me the second column information. Else do the VLOOKUP of this product in the India pricing and get the second column there. So watch out the formula which I'm writing. I'm checking whether the product origin is US. If it is US, I'm just going and taking the price, market price from the US pricing data. Else I'm taking from Indian pricing table. So the column number where we have the market price is the third column. So we're changing that to 3. Now you can see I did not go to the sheet where I had the table. I reduced my effort by just using the table name. So if you watch closely that we are writing a little complicated formula here, check the product region and take the respective table. So I'm saying, hey, pick up the price based on the product origin. So I have two different tables, each are named, and using that table names I'm navigating. Remember, it's dynamic as well. Tomorrow if any new product comes in, it will be considered automatically in this formula as well. So you could see that how this makes our life easier. So let's quickly cross check. Product A in US is 237.8. Is that right? Product A in, yes, 237.8. What about product A in India? 179.07. Is that right? Yes. So that means your formula is working perfectly. So let's finish this exercise by just multiplying the number of units with the market price to derive to the order value. So I've shown you how the tables are helping you in basic functionalities, in visualizations, in complicated formulas as well. Let's finish this video with one of the disadvantage which we have to know when it comes to table, because all I've shown you is all the good side of it, but we didn't talk about what table format cannot do for you. So I go to sheet 4. Here also I want to do it, but all these work provided the named data or the named table is there in the same file where I'm writing the formula. So is it possible to call a table which is in a different Excel file? Okay, so here I'm taking you to the location where I have two files here. One is India pricing. This is separate Excel. And if I click inside, the table name is India price. And I have a different Excel, US pricing. And this has a table, and this has a table. The table name is US price. I want to do the same operation, but the tables are not in the same file, but they are in different Excel file. So now will it work like what we did last time? The table names, let's quickly confirm. US pricing is US price and Indian pricing is India price. So when I go here and type if, let's write the formula, if this is equal to US, then we look up this. Okay, which table? US price, but it does not show me that table name here. So I cannot call the table just like we did, unless otherwise the table is residing in the same file where I'm writing the formula. So this is showing me the table which is there in our sheet 2, which is in the same file. So if your tables are in different file, which you're using that table in your formulas, so you need to go to that table and you need to access the area at least once. You have to select that once manually. You have to do that, else it will not pick up. This is one of the disadvantages. So I literally came to that US pricing file and I'm selecting my table, comma 3, comma false, close the braces, comma, we look up. Let's come back to our side and we have to say, why don't you search this A2? Now it has to search in Indian pricing file. So let's go ahead and select that once for all, comma 3, comma false. So close the VLOOKUP, close the formula. It works without any problem. So the drawback is when your tables are residing in another Excel and you want to call that table name, you cannot simply type the table names just like that. You need to open that file and you have to select that area at least once for one formula. Rest of the things are all going to work. So the dynamicity, if you add a new product, that will be picked up. There is no issues in that. All the rest of things will work. So that's a disadvantage of the table formats. They are not user friendly when they are in different Excel. They are really user friendly when they are in the same Excel. All right. So check it out. The files will be there in the downloadable link in the description section. So check out, practice, and do let me know your feedback. What do you think about the table formats? We will meet again with another interesting input. Until then, take care of yourself. Signing off, Hariharan.